Hey everyone, I am so excited to join you for my maiden voyage on Substack live here on the Rest Revolution Substack. I'm Amanda Miller Littlejohn, and I'm the author of a book called The Rest Revolution. Upside down. And the Rest Revolution. And I wanted to share with you a quick reading from a new essay that I just had published on Business Insider that I was originally going to publish here on Substack. And my editorial assistant, as we were queuing up the post, editing it, and making sure it was right, said to me, "You should pitch this essay." And I thought, I should pitch this essay because I have written a number of pieces on parenting for Business Insider and thought this would literally be right up their alley. So it's on my Business Insider beat on inheritances that I've been exploring. Um, it's like, how are our social and familial hand-me-downs impacting our need to overwork, our propensity towards burnout, and our vulnerability. Okay, of course, I forgot to silence my notifications, but this is live, so it is what it is. Just put us on do not disturb. So, anyway, the only reason that this book even came out was because during the pandemic, I was experiencing my own season of extreme burnout. And one of the things that I discovered in that period of extreme exhaustion was that the things that I had discarded or told myself I could not make the time for, i.e., my writing, were the very things that gave me so much joy and so much fuel that helped me climb out of burnout. So I decided that I would start prioritizing my creative writing, specifically my personal essays, because that's my medium. So I wanted to share with you, number one, the advice to reclaim, revive whatever your thing is that, especially in midlife, you let go of because you thought, I don't have time for that and I need to focus on my job, my work, the thing that pays the bills. The thing that you discarded, as I wrote in one of my recent Substack posts on, are the very things that we discarded in our 20s, the things that can save us in our 40s. So go back and read that post if you haven't. But those very things might be the key to the energy you need in this midlife season to both feel like yourself again, but also feel excited about your life. Like midlife is such a potentially heavy time. It's laden with a lot of responsibilities, and those responsibilities take so much of our energy. And so we owe it to ourselves to fuel ourselves, to feed ourselves again with the things that energize us. So anyway, I'm going to share this essay, and I figured it's an essay, so I can just read it. It'll take me like 3 minutes, and I'll also link to it so that you can comment, share, send it to a friend, tell me your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, if you are watching this video, drop me a comment and say, I'm here, girl. Cheer me on. But the thing I love about this whole Substack live thing is even if you're not watching it, you'll get an email or you'll see it in a feed. You'll see this somewhere. So I'm going to read this essay. Business Insider, published March 22nd. I resented my parents for killing my creative career goals. I swore I'd never do the same to my kids. Then I became a parent. Whew. I used to hold a quiet grudge against my parents for the way they handled my creative dreams. It wasn't the kind of loud, dramatic grudge that shows up at therapy and needs a name. It was more like a low hum in the background of my ambitions. I like that. It was a recurring thought that quietly whispered, they didn't believe in me. They knew of my love of writing. They saw the journals I filled, the essays that came back marked with glowing commentary from my teachers, and the stories that I'd start and never quite finish. Their response was essentially, that's cute, but what's your real plan? Go get a master's in early childhood education, they advised, so you can teach, or better yet, law school, so you can be well paid and respectable. My creative writing talent wasn't something they could see me turning into a career, so they looked away from it. I resented that for a long time until I became a parent. When my kid went off to college, my feelings got complicated. Decades later, I sent my firstborn off to an expensive liberal arts college to major in film studies, and that grudge got a bit more complicated. I've spent nearly 2 decades pouring intentionally into my child's development. There were the Mandarin immersion programs, piano lessons, and summer workbooks a grade level ahead, all carefully cultivating their unique sense of self. I wanted them to know that their interests mattered. I wanted them to feel they were allowed and encouraged to follow what lit them up. I said it explicitly, and I meant every word. But now I'm sitting with the liberal arts tuition bills next to the economic reports of millions of jobs disappearing and the daily AI takeover alerts. I finally understand what my parents were thinking when I went off to college back in 1999. They weren't dream killers, but time travelers. They were standing in my present, looking ahead to my future, and doing the math that I was too young and hopeful to do myself. Now, here I am doing the same math, except the numbers are scarier and the variables have multiplied in ways none of us saw coming. It's not just the job market I'm watching, it's the wholesale dismantling of creative industries by artificial intelligence. I think about my child studying film while screenwriting rooms go dark, entry level editing jobs evaporate, and graphic designers, photographers, and copywriters quietly lose relevance to tools that work for free and never sleep. The very field my child is pouring their passion into is being restructured in real time, faster than any syllabus can keep up with. I find myself wondering, are the professors teaching the industry that exists or the one that existed? Are film classes in 2026 preparing my kid for the future or elegantly preserving the past? I think about my father, who got his electrical engineering degree in 1971. The computer systems he would eventually spend his career managing did not exist yet when he was sitting in those lectures. He was studying for a future he couldn't fully see. I studied English and history, majors that seemed on paper equally impractical, right up until social media rewrote the rules and handed a girl with the gift for language a whole new kind of career. Neither of us could have studied our way directly into what we became. I don't have a clean answer. What I'm learning in real time is that good parenting in an era of radical uncertainty might just be the refusal to let your fears become hand-me-downs you pass on to your child. That lesson is costing me bandwidth I don't have. It is one more weight on the already heavy bar of midlife, where caregiving, career, and reinvention all compete for the same depleted reserves. And so I meditate, do my breath work, enjoy my sound baths, and pray. I pray my child will forge something I can't picture yet, the way my father built systems that didn't exist in his textbooks, and the way I built a business on platforms that launched after my graduation. I pray the instinct to bet on yourself and answer the deep inner call that tugs at your heart turns out to be the one thing no algorithm can replicate. So, that was my essay on Business Insider. And I will drop the link, as I said, so that you can read it yourself and drive some traffic to my story. But just wanted to come on and share that and just share this journey of, recentering, reclaiming something that has always brought me joy, but that I thought I didn't have the space, the room, the time for always. But prioritizing that and making a point to prioritize it in my life has really, really, really made a difference for me. And if you are like me, in your late 30s, early 40s or older, and you're looking for a little more meaning, a little more energy, a little more oomph, as you just try to make it through, I encourage you to really think about something that maybe you put down a decade or two ago that you could start to slowly reintegrate into your present life, because it may be the thing that gives you the energy you've been needing. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye. How do I get out of this thing? Oh, end. Bye.